Hey everyone, how are you? I hope you enjoyed the Lucchese review. I am enjoying that boot quite nicely. Um, today, today I'm wearing the 8824 round toe in the olive Mojave. I think that's a great, nice summertime boot. I really like the olive Mojave leather. I wish Red Wing did a few more boots in that leather. I know they did the Merchant, which is discontinued, and for women they did a Pecos in the olive Mojave. They have the round toe, and there's also a mock toe. But it would be cool if they did some other boots, and I do like this olive Mojave. Okay, so today, to tell you what's going on, I was just minding my business like I always do, and I get a text from Red Wing with a photo and asking if I was interested in this boot. And I, of course, I'm like, are you serious? Yes. And this behind me right here is a hint. I'm like, yeah, 100%. The 4572, 8-inch, in copper rough and tough with gunmetal. I'm like, yeah, I want this boot. You kidding me? So I jumped on it, went over there and picked them up, and yeah, added these wonderful things to the collection. Now these are rare because these were a collaboration with J.Crew. That's why the number is 45. These here are 2940 in the Oro. You remember I did a review on those, and then I conditioned them and put on boot oil, and I was like, I just ruined these boots, but all good. So 2940 Oro, 4572 in the copper rough and tough, and a collab with J.Crew. I can't remember how long ago, 2011 maybe. Well, let's see when these were made. It says 2012, but these I missed out on, and thankfully Red Wing sent me a text, and here we are. So it has, well, we'll go into the details of the bits and pieces of the boot, but and the story behind these, maybe. But let's take a closer look at the Red Wing 4572 in the copper rough and tough, which I believe is the proper farmer. This is the actual boot homage to the Red Wing farmer. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so here is a close-up of the Red Wing 4572, the 8-inch round toe-ish kind of rover vibe. Hard to describe. It's kind of a boot on its own. In the copper rough and tough leather, which I know is a favorite of a lot of people because of the characteristics it takes on. So this, as someone reminded me when I did the review for the Bourbon Yuma blacksmith, I do have three charcoal. Jesus. I do have three copper rough and toughs. I have the engineers, I have the round toes, and I have the mock toes. And then now I can add these to that list. So let's go through the details of this boot. We have the crepe sole on here, which is found on the Rover. Currently in stores, you can get the Rover. And then you have that beautiful copper rough and tough leather, which this will definitely need some conditioning because these boots have just been sitting and they have not been conditioned whatsoever. As you can tell, it's not even worn. So these were just sitting in someone's closet. So thankfully they no longer wanted them and are in my possession. So we go with the triple stitch in the copper rough and tough. Oh yeah. Gunmetal hardware, which is cool. I like that. And then you have the speed hooks in gunmetal. They're not, are they stamped? They are stamped. That's really cool. So like the 1907s, the gunmetal, which have the gunmetal hardware, these are stamped with Red Wing on there. So that is a really nice touch with this J.Crew collaboration that they had. And it comes with leather laces as well as the Tasman laces. And let's take a look at the, oh, well, I'm going to do, let's see, where do we start? We'll continue with this boot. It has, we'll do a close up here. It has the Red Wing. It has the Red Wing embossed on the right boot inside, right, which is a really nice touch. And then it also has this external heel counter in comparison to the 2940, which I have here with me to show you. Now this is the one that, if you remember, I did the conditioning and it got dark and I was like, oh no, I ruined the boot. This is the part here. It's fine. It came back. I was really worried, but as you can see, the boot is fine, and I've actually worn it a lot since then. But you see the heel here, how it has this piece on the outside, and then this one kind of has it like the Iron Ranger. It has that same, actually I should fetch an Iron Ranger to show you. Let's see, do I have one here? Iron Ranger, Iron Ranger. I do have an Iron Ranger right here. I have the 8112 here to show you how these are similar in that leather going up the heel, just like that. So that's pretty cool. So you can see we'll put all three. Let's see if I can do this, all three. And then this one here. So you see the different leather counters there. Pretty nice. So I do like that. And then also, just notice this, having these here, you have this piping, leather piping here on the top. I know the Iron Ranger doesn't have it, and this one doesn't have it. I just noticed that. I didn't even realize that. It has the exact same stitching that the Iron Ranger does. Here, let's do a close-up of that. Come here! So you see this piece, is that in focus? There we go. The top of the boot, the leather has a second piece sewn in instead of having the piping, and it's exactly like the Iron Ranger has that. So it's not the leather folded, it's just another piece that is sewn as a line all the way through down. So I did not know that. That's really cool. I just learned something about this farmer boot or whatever. All right, so I just realized something. That was really a nice discovery. I didn't know that. So the first time I saw these boots in person, I was doing a shoot for, I think it was for CNN maybe, I can't remember. And one of the actors came on set and he had these, and he had already had them resold. He had them so long. And so what he did is he took off this cushion crepe and had the Vibram traction tread placed onto this boot. And I took a couple photos because I think I kind of knew about the boot, but wasn't 100% sure because I'd never seen it in person. And so I asked him if I could take photos of his boots, and he was like, oh yeah, sure, weirdo. But I took some photos and kind of like went back and did some research on it. And because the sole was different, so that's kind of why I was a little slightly thrown off. Yeah, these are cool, especially being that they're a collab and that they were quite rare. So let's take a look at the inside of the other boot. And as I stated before, these were made May 2012. And so you have this inside of that copper rough and tough. And then the leather insole, which is really dark because you can't see down the shaft. These are not leather lined. These are canvas lined, unfortunately, but whatever, it's fine. But it would be cool if they were leather lined, being that they have the stamped hardware and some other details that I wasn't completely aware that they had, but that would be cool to have a leather lining, but all good. Yeah, but these are cool. I definitely have to do some work like I did on the harvesters, because I can see that there's some corrosion around the hardware because they just sat for such a long time. And the leather lace has some of the corrosion on it from being laced up. I'll show you that as well. Okay, so you can see some of the corrosion around the hardware here. And then this lace, which is, yeah, there you go. You can see a little bit of it. Let's see if I can get it in. There's the focus. Okay, so you can see there the corrosion that got onto the leather. So I will take care of that, cleaning that around, conditioning them, just to get them back to 100. Just a quick story about the person who owned these. They were too big for him, and he just held on to them because he really liked them, and I don't blame him because they are ridiculously cool boots. But he finally was like, they're not my size, they're too big, and what's the point? So he contacted Red Wing. Red Wing contacted me, and that's how I was able to get these. So never worn and just sitting there. So thank goodness that he was willing to part with them. But I don't blame you if you have a shoe that doesn't fit you. What's the point? You can just, I guess, you're gonna have it as a keepsake on your shelf or whatever. But let's put these boots on the street. That's what I'm saying, man. I'll put them to work. Well, not work, but you know what I mean. But very excited to add these to the collection. All right, let's do the on feet. Okay, here we have the 4, 5, 7, 9 on feet, and they feel really good. That's very stiff because they are brand new, so that cushion sole is quite stiff. I'm wearing Japanese selvage denim from the Gap that I've kind of been wearing quite often when I do the on feet, especially with the 8-inch, just to show off that full-on boot. So if you were to see these, you would think that initially they were the Rover in the copper rough and tough, but there would be some telltale giveaways. The first one would be the leather laces, but anybody could put leather laces in a Rover. The other would be the gunmetal hardware. The Rover comes with brass hardware. And then the last thing would be that heel counter being different than anything else than the Rover. So those would be the telltales that they are not Rovers. This cushion crepe sole, which is on the Postman and on the Rover, as I said, is very comfortable. This is definitely a sole which you can do 2 miles easily, 8 hours, no problem at all. As long as it's broken in, as long as the shoe's broken in, you can easily do 8 hours in this sole. But I'm quite impressed with the copper rough and tough, the way it looks. And Red Wing recommends treating these with the all-natural leather conditioner. I've used mink oil on the copper rough and tough, and I think I'll probably end up using what Red Wing recommends, the all-natural leather conditioner on these, because they are in desperate need of some conditioning. This leather is, it's aching for it. But I think they look really good, and eventually, maybe in, I don't know, 2 years, depending how much I end up wearing these, I probably will get these resoled to have like a really cool 8-inch something. I don't know, we'll see. But it could be a stacked heel, leather stacked heel. It could be a Roshia, I'm not sure. But for now, I'm gonna leave these as is and wear these, break them in because this sole is really comfortable. And so these would be something like, if I know I'm gonna go be a tourist in my own city and walk around the city for a few hours, these are the boot that I would put on for sure. So I hope that you all are digging them as much as I am. Here's a look at that sole, that cushion crap. Yeah, these are cool, man. I'm glad that they came across my way, because I know how difficult they are to find. Very pleased. All right. So that is the Red Wing J.Crew collaboration, the 4572 in the Copper Rough and Tough, also known as the Farmer. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, be a boot. See you guys next time.